That's my birth story. That's the reality of it. I felt it all.
Alright, so I don't really know how to start this video off, but it's Saturday. It's almost 5 o'clock in the afternoon, and we're on our way to the hospital because it's baby time.
I'm excited.
I'm scared, nervous, anxious, but I'm excited too. I'm ready to just get it over with and him like be here already. Not knowing what's gonna happen is what scares me the most, I think. And not knowing like the pain that I'm about to go through. I don't really know how this vlog is gonna go. I'm gonna have him hopefully pick up the camera if I don't feel like picking up the camera. But I want to have this as a memory for me to look back on personally. But I will try to update this vlog as much as possible and have a little baby. Okay, so quick update. We're in the hospital. Everything's been happening really fast, so I haven't been able to update it, but I'm all hooked up. Well, she took me off my fluids because I'm not like in active labor yet and I'm drinking and everything. But they just got the Foley ball or balloon. Is it Foley ball or balloon?
Ball.
The Foley ball in down there. And that was painful. That was not fun. But now we're pretty much just chilling for the rest of the night. Austin has his snacks that he just ate in front of me, knowing I can't eat anything already. He's drinking Gatorade. We got on little ass TV. We got some fights going on the TV. Oh, there's a booty. And yeah, that's pretty much it. She told me that I could be up if I wanted to tonight. She's gonna go look for like, what does she call it? I don't know. Some kind of like cordless monitors to where I can be up if I want to, because I brought my yoga ball, exercise ball to bounce on. So we're just chilling for the night. I can have as many popsicles and jellos and ice as much as I want. So I may ask for that here in a minute just because I want a popsicle. Do you have anything that you want to add?
I hope it goes by fast.
Did you feel bad for me?
I did. It made me
What was your experience on that?
extremely sad and angry knowing she was in pain and I couldn't do anything.
It hurt bad.
So, that really bothered me.
It hurt really bad. My cervix is apparently like, what did they say? Posterior?
Yeah.
So it's like really far up, so they couldn't just do it without getting the thing to open me up to look at it. So very painful. Don't recommend that, but I'm doing what I gotta do to get this baby out. But that's the only update I have. She's coming back in here in like an hour to blow it up a little bit more. But yeah, I'll update you guys when I have another update. Okay, don't mind my nose. I don't know why it's so red. But they woke me up around 7 to eat breakfast. And then I got to get a shower. I don't know what time they started the Pitocin. I want to say they started around like 11 or 12 maybe? They started around 1. And right now it's 1:44. I think she said I'm on like 14 or something. I don't really know how it goes. She's been upping it slowly, but the contractions are picking up. They're definitely more painful than any of the other ones that I've had. Now, whenever I have them, they wrap around my body. Like, they go from my belly to my butt to the front, like my hoo-ha. They're definitely painful now. They're lasting like 2 minutes. Well, some of them are. But they're still 6 minutes apart. She says she wants to get them like 2-3 minutes apart. This is not fun. But yeah, that's pretty much all the update. I still have the Foley balloon in there. We're just gonna leave it in there to try to help dilating me. So I don't even know what I am right now. But that's pretty much it for now. I'm in pain and probably gonna be in pain until I can not be in pain no more.
So, Mallory had to go in for an emergency C-section, and I'm just waiting. Haven't been able to update the video. Sorry about that. We've just been really busy. A lot of stuff on our plate.
Hello guys, it is Monday. I'm pretty sure it's the 28th of December. I can't remember. But I am no longer pregnant. We will talk about that a little bit later. Right now, we're about to take baby boy on his first walk and go on our first little family walk. Because today's the first day that's actually felt somewhat warm and not freezing. But let me show you the little baby. This is so cute. Zoe. But we're about to go on a little walk so he can get some air. Look at his face.
I don't know, for some reason I was like the
Y'all.
might be here, just a year too young.
Austin's playing his game, so ignore that. But look at the little baby.
I'm dead.
He's not really in this right, like his legs are supposed to be out, but we're at home, so like it doesn't really matter.
I'm safe if you like. Oh, he's
But it's so
on the right
funny.
side of the wall. To your left, on the roof side, looking at you.
Look
He's
at
up
him.
there. Yeah, he's up there.
He looks so mad.
Okay, I have tried to film this part of my video so many different times, but with Wes and then just me being lazy, it's been impossible. I tried to film it last night and I actually had the opportunity because Wes went to bed at like 9:20 or something like that. But when I went to film it, my camera was dead, so I couldn't. But now we're here. Wes is down for a nap, so I'm gonna try to film this like as fast as I can before he wakes up. He's literally waking up right now. Hold on. Okay, anyways. So, it has been about a month since, well, a little over a month since I gave birth. My birth was really traumatic to me and Austin. So I definitely could not talk about it as soon as we came home. I had to let myself process it a little bit. But now I'm ready to talk about it. I got some notes on my iPad so I wouldn't skip over anything. I gave birth on December 14th and we went into the hospital for me to be induced on December 12th. I was 41 weeks, which is why they induced me. I know some hospitals let you go to 42 weeks, but mine doesn't want you to go past 41. That's just the way they do it there. So I checked into the hospital, I think it was a little after 5. Yeah, it was, no. We got there at 5:30. Yeah, we got there at 5:30. So we checked in and everything. I went in and they gave me my IV, did all that fun stuff. So I know some hospitals, the way they induce people is just like straight Pitocin, and that's how they start it. Winston, no, my neighbors are outside and Winston can see them and he's gonna start barking. So the way some hospitals do it is they just put you straight on Pitocin and that's how they start you with inducement. It'll start your contractions. The way my hospital does it is they put this thing called a Foley balloon inside your hoo-ha. And forewarning, I'm not gonna try to like censor this video really. Like I'm gonna just be straight up with how things were. So if you think like birth in general is gross or C-sections and stuff, probably don't watch this part of the video. So anyway, they get this thing called a Foley balloon and they place it inside your hoo-ha. And basically, from what I know, I never looked at it or seen it. Basically, it's like 2 balloons that are connected like with this little tube thing. I don't really know. One part goes in your cervix and the other part's like in there. and they fill it up with water. Some hospitals do it all the way and that's how they start it. Mine gradually does it, that way it doesn't like hurt as bad. So they place water in it, and I forgot how big it fills up. I can't remember what they said, but it falls out on its own whenever you get to 4 centimeters. So I forgot how long I had the flood balloon in. I know it was like throughout the night. Like I had it in for a while. So I had to go to the bathroom, and I only had to pee. And the nurse asked me if I had to poop or if I felt like I had to poop. I said no. And she wanted to check the balloon to make sure it wasn't like the balloon wanting to come out. And it wasn't. So I went to the bathroom, and the balloon part that was like in my cervix came out, but the balloon like itself did not fall out on its own. So I was kind of just like stuck there, and I was like, Austin. So I came in the room, and I had him check it, and he was like, yeah, it's the balloon. So I had him get the nurse, and the nurse had to like pull it out with me like standing above the toilet in the bathroom, which is great. So I was 4 centimeters. At this point, it's Sunday the 13th. Don't even ask my times. I cannot remember. I remember like 2 times, and it's like when I gave birth and then when they broke my water, which I'll get to. So I was dilated to a 4, and oh my gosh. I think it was in the middle of the night between Saturday and Sunday, because I knew for a fact like I was gonna get the epidural, and the guy was on call because it was the weekend and it was like in the middle of the night. So the nurse came in and she's like, just want to let you know the anesthesiologist is here, and it took him like 45 minutes to get here. So I told her, just let me know like when he's about to leave and I'll go ahead and get it. So I got the epidural when I was 4 centimeters because he was about to leave and I did not want to have to wait an hour when I wanted it like then. So I got the epidural, which honestly, it wasn't bad at all. I was so scared of getting the epidural. I physically started shaking. Like everyone in the room was laughing at me because like I wasn't in pain. I was just so scared of getting the epidural that I was physically shaking on the bed, just because like all the stories that you hear, like how big the needle is and everything, which I did not look at the needle. Epidural did not hurt even in the tiniest bit of getting it. Like it did not, like my IV hurt way worse than getting it. Also, I'm going to throw this in really quick. You get tested for something called strep B when you're pregnant, and it's like nothing serious. Like you cannot help if you have it or not, but you have to be put on antibiotics while you're in labor, and it hurts so bad. The first dose they give you hurts the worst because it's like doubled, and it felt like a horse was standing on my wrist. Like my wrist felt like it was breaking. It hurt so bad, and every dose I got, it stung so bad. It like takes like 15 minutes. Like, and I think they do it every 4 hours for 15 minutes. I can't remember really. But I just want to throw that in there. If you have strep B and you're pregnant, it hurts. At least it hurt for me. So I got the epidural, and then same thing for Sunday. Like I progressed so slow. I don't even remember like how faced I was really. Like they were more focused on my dilation, which is what was taking forever. They broke my water Sunday night around midnight, which was like the most bizarre experience. So like I had the epidural, so you cannot feel from your waist down. Well, I guess from your stomach down. For me, it was my waist down because it didn't work for my contractions. So which was like, honestly, contractions hurt, especially when you're on Pitocin. But they're not like you can handle them. Like, they're not going to kill you. But they do hurt really bad. So when they go to break your water, they get like this stick with a hook and they bust it. I don't know. And I was asleep when they came in, so like I was barely awake for it. And like I said, like I can't feel waist down. So that pretty much like was going back to sleep. So I was like half asleep while they were doing it, and then all of a sudden you just hear like this gush. Like it sounds like someone has a bucket of water and they just dump it really fast. And I was like, that's it? And she's like, yeah, your water's broke. I'm like, where did it go? Because like I didn't see a bucket or anything. And she's like, on the pad. I'm like, ew. Like that's so nasty. But my water broke, and I had a lot of amniotic fluid. I forgot what it was called for a second. I had a lot of amniotic fluid My stomach even went down because I had so much. So whenever they broke my water, I was dilated to a 6, which, if that tells you anything, I was a 4 Saturday night and a 6 Sunday night around midnight. So like I was progressing so slow. So then I got dilated to a 7, and this was Sunday morning, I'm pretty sure, like around noonish maybe. And then they started to get like the table ready for when I started pushing, because they figured it was going to come soon. So they started getting the table ready, which was like really exciting. Like that kind of motivates you to get things going, which obviously I can't do anything about that. So right after is when my contractions like started to really like take over. It started to hurt so bad, and I was feeling every single one of them. And I was telling Austin, like, it's not working for my contractions. Like at the beginning, I was trying not to push the button and just like kind of let it do its thing. But towards the end, I was pushing it as much as I could, because they tell you like you can't overdose on your epidural. So I was pushing that button as many times as it let me push it. So then it was Monday morning, and I'm still at a 7 at this point. And they took me off Pitocin for like 2 or 4 hours, because they want your body to like take a break, and they don't want it to get used to it. So they took me off Pitocin. Keep in mind, like I have not had a meal like this whole time. What they give you is chicken broth and beef broth. Now it's good, right? Like chicken broth is good, but nothing is more torturous than giving someone who's starving chicken broth. And it's not even like a full bowl of chicken broth. Like it's like half a can of chicken broth. So after the 2 to 4 hour Pitocin break, they put me back on it. And then that afternoon, Monday afternoon, I progressed to an 8, which is great. Like you push at a 10, so we're almost there. And I was at an 8 for I think like 2 or 3 hours. Like it wasn't, compared to how long I was at everything else, it was not that long. And the doctor came in, and she brought up thinking about a C-section. And like as soon as she brought it up, I just like my whole world stopped. I was like, no. Because like the one thing I went in there, I didn't go in there with a birth plan, because you always hear on YouTube like don't create a birth plan because it never goes as you plan. So I kept that in mind, but the one thing that I wanted to avoid was a C-section, which I wasn't against it, because like you do what you have to do in the moment. Like if you have to have a C-section, then I'm gonna have a C-section. But I definitely did not want to do it, not because like the scar or anything, but like your body's being cut open. Like that's scary to think about. So I did not want a C-section at all. So she brought up a C-section, and like I just paused. Like I literally feel like I went into a different world. And she walked out, and like our nurse was still in there, and I think she could tell like it hurt my feelings, because she was like, do you want to talk about it? And I was like I couldn't even say no, because I was gonna start bawling as soon as I did. And I started crying because I couldn't even handle shaking my head no. And she left, and I just like bawled my eyes out. Like I just bawled, because like we got there Sunday afternoon or Saturday afternoon. Now it's Monday afternoon. So I'm like, my body is so exhausted from being in labor for so long and feeling the contractions. So like putting a C-section on top of that, plus me starving, like I just broke down. And she came back in there and asked us, and I told her, I was like, I would rather try any position that we possibly can to help me progress more, because I had the peanut, which if you don't know what that is, if you are going into labor soon, there's something in my eye. If you're going into labor soon, definitely ask for the peanut. I thought it was going to be like this small little pillow. It's this huge peanut shaped, like kind of hard pillow, but it makes you so much more comfortable, especially if you can feel your contractions. So with epidural, like my legs were dead. My legs were so dead and so heavy that I could not move myself. Like they had to come in and flip me every like 15, 20, 30 minutes. So I wanted to do any position that my body let me do. So we tried that. Obviously it did not work. So they upped my Pitocin, and when you up your Pitocin, you're upping your contraction pain. So my contractions got more intense, and I felt them all, which was awful. So they inserted an internal monitor to track exactly how strong my contractions were. So when you go into the hospital, they put like 2 monitors on your stomach. They put like one up here and one down here. One tracks the heart rate and the other one tracks your contractions. Even though it's tracking your contractions, it doesn't track exactly how strong they are. So they inserted that to see how strong it was, which I didn't know this, but whenever Wes was born, he had like a mark on the back of his head, and it's from where they put that in there, which kind of upset me because I didn't know they like poked the back of their freaking head. So they inserted that, and then the doctor came back around 6, and I was still at an 8. So I wasn't progressing at all. And at this point, like, my water had been broken for so long. I've been in labor for so long. I've been on Pitocin for so long. So she really didn't want me to like go much longer. So I asked her to let us talk about it like with ourselves, and we'll let her know. So she left, and we kind of just like started weighing the options. At that point, like, I was having like a constant pain on my left side. I was feeling all the contractions. They were so close, so I was getting like no breaks. My body was just in like so much pain, and I was so tired that I didn't think that I could go much longer, honestly. So I just looked at Austin and I was like, I don't know how much longer I can keep taking these contractions. And I was honestly scared, because when your water breaks and with each contraction, that's your baby like trying to make his way down and come out. So I didn't want it to like stress him out, and like I didn't want it to hurt him, which I know like they were keeping track of it, but it was scaring me kind of. And whenever I was a baby, I was 10 pounds. And I was scared that Wes was going to be a big baby and that he wouldn't be able to come out that way. So I didn't know like how that worked. I didn't want to risk it. I remember Austin being like, do you want to call your dad? Do you want to call your mom? Because she's had C-sections. And I just looked at him and I was like, no, like, this is our baby. I'm his mom. You're his dad. Like, this is a decision that we have to make ourselves. So he kind of just looked up to me and he was like, I will support whatever decision that you want to make. It's your body. So I thought about it for a little bit, and I decided to go through with the C-section because going in there Saturday afternoon, it's now Monday afternoon, I was hungry, I was in pain, I was tired, so I decided to do it. So the doctor comes back in and they take me off Pitocin, I'm guessing, because after I told her yes, I swear it's like they gave me something to knock me out, because I don't even remember being wheeled out of my room to go to the surgery room. I don't know if it's like they took me off Pitocin and my body was just like finally a break, so I just like went to sleep instantly, or if they did knock me out. I have no idea, but I don't even remember being wheeled out. But they wheeled me to the surgery room. I do remember like waking up outside of the room, I think, and it was a different anesthesiologist with the one that put the epidural on my back, and they were asking me if I wanted the clear curtain for my C-section to watch, and I was like, hell no, I do not want to see that at all. And then I remember like looking down a little bit and I seen Austin like in his little suit, and that's like the last thing I remember about being out there. So we go in the room and they asked me, they're like, do your legs work at all? And I was like, no, not even in the slightest. So they pick me up and they put me on a different table, because usually I guess when you put the spinal in, it's like how you do the epidural, like you lean over. So they rolled me on my side so I couldn't like use my legs, and they tried to put it in like that, and I couldn't tell you if the spinal hurts. I didn't feel the epidural come out or the spinal go in. I never felt that, so I can't tell you. It didn't work with me on my side, so they had to pick me up, and a lady physically had to hold me to sit up. She was just talking to me. I don't know if she thought I was scared or something. At this point, I'm like seriously so dead and tired that she was asking me like, am I having a boy or a girl? What's his name? Like, just trying to talk to me, which I was like so dead and tired. I was like, girl, let me just like sleep. Like, I did not want to talk. I was so over everything at this point. So Austin was still out of the room at this point. They got me on the table. They got the curtain up. I like my eyes were seriously closed the whole time. People always say like the surgery room is really scary because it's like nothing but white. Like everything is white except like the blue curtain that's like on you. It's cold, like you don't see anything. Like, I don't know. I understand why they would say it was scary. Like the fact that it's like just nothing but a white room is scary in itself, and then like you hear all the tools that they use and stuff. But my eyes were closed like the whole time. He even put something on my face, and Like I didn't even open my eyes for that. I remember him asking me, my eyes were closed, and he was like, do you want to wear your mask or not? Because I had to wear the face mask like going through the hallway. And he was like, do you do better with or without the mask? And before like I could even answer, he was like, I'm just gonna leave the mask off. You've been through enough shit already. And I was like, thank you. Like I did not want to wear the mask, and I'm so happy I didn't. So before Austin could come in, they have to do a numbing test, and they like poke you, I guess, all over your body. I don't know. They got to like, I don't know if you can see. They got to like right here. Like it felt like they were like in the middle of my stomach. And he was like, do you feel that? And I was like, yeah. And he pinched the crap out of my shoulder. And he was like, does it feel like this? I was like, no. I was like, it just feels like a pencil or like a pin just poking you. So they redid the numbing test, and they asked me if I could feel it. And I said no. And I guess like they went back over that spot because I didn't feel it, and they went ahead and started. Austin came in, and like I don't really even remember him being in the room. I remember somebody grabbing my hand, and I looked up and it was him, but like when I looked at him, it didn't look like him. So I don't really even remember him being in the room. I just remember him grabbing my hand. They start, I don't know how long the procedure is. It felt like it was like 3 minutes from what I felt. So this is where it gets traumatizing for me. I didn't feel them cut me open. I don't think. If I did feel it, it didn't hurt. It felt like they were like literally cutting cords like in my stomach. Like it literally felt like they were like cutting cords. And at that point, my eyes like opened, and I was like, I can feel that. And then like there was pressure. And when I say pressure, I don't mean lightly. Like I mean like pressure, like it hurts pressure. So I was telling them like, it hurts, I can feel it, like do something about it. Like I do not want to feel this. So the guy stood up, and he looked over the curtain, and he's like, it's okay. Like I'll take the pain away as soon as I get the baby out. And then like it got more and more intense. Like I was like, okay, no, like you'll have to stop, like it hurts. Like I was moaning in pain. Like I could not do it. And all I remember is like, so you're like laying on this table, like flat on your back. So I'm like looking straight up, and he's standing over top of me. Also, I apologize for how many times I say like. He's standing right over top of me, and it sounds so like weird and romantic. It's really not. But he had like the bluest eyes I've ever seen. I don't know if it's because like it was in the moment or the room was white, but he had like, I swear his eyes were this color. Like they were so blue. Hold on. So I just remember looking up. It sounds so romantic, but it's really not. I remember looking like straight into his eyes. And he's like, I promise as soon as I get the baby out, I'm gonna take the pain away. Like you're fine. I got you. And then it got really intense. And he's like, they're almost to the baby. They're about to get the baby out. This was the worst part for me. Like, yeah, the feeling them cut the cords was meh. But compared to this, it felt like my stomach, like my whole stomach was just like spread open. And it felt like their hands were in there just like doing this. Like tugging, like literally tugging. And he's like, they're at the baby now. Dude, you don't have to tell me. Like, I know, I can feel it. At this point, I feel like I'm like literally yelling in pain. They are like, it feels like they're up here, like right under my ribcage, just like tugging, like just moving their hands all in there. And he's like, they're getting the baby out now. And when he said that, like 2 seconds after, I'm not even exaggerating, it like, oh, it's so gross. I could literally feel his body just like get yanked out of my stomach. And that's like exactly what it sounds like. Like, I'm pretty sure he was like 21 inches. I say I'm pretty sure, which I know I sound like a bad mom. You'll know why in a minute. So he was a long baby, and it felt like they just had him by the legs, like the ankles, and just like pulled him out. And like I could just feel like every inch of him just like wiggle out. I told you I wasn't censoring anything. I know it's gross, but that's my birth story. That's the reality of it. I felt it all. It was traumatizing. They get the baby out. My camera stopped recording because it's been so long. But, so they get the baby out, or they get Wes out. And I heard one quick cry, and then I was out like a freaking light. I don't know what he gave me. Austin said it looked like milk. Like he said it looked like milk that they had in a needle, and I was literally out within like seconds after they got Wes out. So I actually like broke down in the hospital like the second or third night because of this. I didn't get to watch Austin cut the cord. I didn't get to hear how much he weighed, how long he was. I didn't get to hear like any of that, which honestly like really hurt my feelings because that was like something I was excited for. Like the only plan that I had going into the hospital was that I wanted delayed cord clamping and then golden hour, which if you don't know what golden hour is, basically after you push your baby out, you instantly like do skin to skin for an hour, and it gives you the time to like bond with your baby and latch if you're breastfeeding. So I wanted to do that. That was like the only thing that I asked for. And I'm not gonna get into it in this video, but if you guys want a video on it, I can talk about it a little bit more. But I did get postpartum depression, which thank God it only lasted a week. In the hospital was when it was the heaviest, which this is like the biggest advice I can give you. When you're in the hospital after you give birth, if you feel like you're getting postpartum depression, get out of your room. Go for a walk the hallways, just get out of your room, because we were in there from Saturday afternoon to Thursday afternoon, so almost a full week. And the room, like your delivery room is huge because they need like all the room for the people. But your recovery room is tiny, like it's so small. So after you give birth, if you feel down or something, get out of your room, go for a walk, go get food, like leave your room. And I would have done that if I could freaking walk, because your recovery after C-section is so hard. Oh my gosh, recovery is awful. Like they wanted me to walk the next day, and the only reason that I did walk is because they threatened me with a catheter, and I was not going to go through that. I was done with the pain. So I walked my ass to the bathroom because I was not going to get another catheter. But yeah, that is my birth plan. It was not the way that I wanted to go. It was awful. I was in labor for 52 hours. My water was broke for 16 hours in a C-section that I could feel. So it was just like bad thing after bad thing after bad thing. That's the scary part of it. Like birth is so normalized, obviously, because people have babies every day, all day. But I don't think people realize that like anything can happen when you give birth. So it's scary. Also, with postpartum, I do have a little highlight on my Instagram. I will leave my Instagram down below if you want to follow me. I do plan on talking about postpartum and the depression a little bit more, because I feel like that definitely needs to be talked about more, because I'm a chill person. Like I remember texting my sister-in-law and talking to her about it, but I was like, I don't think I have to worry about postpartum depression or anxiety, because like I don't have an issue with depression or anxiety, and your hormones go so insane after you give birth. Honestly, I feel like it'd be hard not to get postpartum depression. You will find something to be depressed about or have anxiety about. Everything gets better, I promise. But on my highlight, I talk about it a little bit. So if you guys want to follow me on there, go ahead and do that. Make sure you give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it and liked it. Please subscribe to my channel. Hopefully, now that me and Wes are getting into a good routine, I can start filming more and posting a lot more. He is 7 weeks old on Monday, which is insane. But if you have any video requests, go ahead and leave them in the comments down below. Or if you want, you can message me on Instagram. I think I have a video of mine that I want to do. It's not like, well, actually, I have 2 videos that I want to do. One's baby related and the other one is makeup related. So if you guys want to see that, give this video a like, subscribe to my channel, and I will see you guys in my next video.